Mrs. Wilson, hi, how are you?
And hi, how are you?
Oh, I'm great. I have missed you so much.
Me too. We're usually neighbors and see each other daily. Now,
Oh, man. Oh, hi, eighth graders. How are you guys?
eighth graders, I'm Miss Wilson.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Johnson. We both teach eighth grade ELA. We're both upstairs on Team 8B, but we're just here to represent everybody, Miss Frederick and Mrs. O'Hay and Mrs. Rhodes as well.
So today we're going to be doing a mini lesson on standard RI 8.3, and we're going to be using the article from News ELA that you read yesterday. And standard RI 8.3 reads, analyze how a text makes connections among and distinctions between individuals, ideas, or events. So an example through comparisons, analogies, or categories. And like I said, the News ELA article that you read yesterday, there were multiple individuals, ideas, and events that were brought up about Cesar Chavez. And Ms. Johnson's going to talk you through her note-taking strategy that she used while she annotated and highlighted this article.
When reading an article, your ELA teachers are always asking you to make highlights, annotate in the margins of important things, important events that you're reading about, things that might support your central idea. Knowing what our standard is in advance is very helpful when taking notes. When I was taking my notes, knowing that I had to make a connection between people and different events, I thought it would be important to highlight my people in a certain color so that way I would find it very easy to go back to them. So as you can see, my people are all highlighted in this green color throughout the entire text. And then I have other colors in here too, though. So you can see like I have some purple colors throughout the text, and these are all years or ages or time periods. Some of these yellow colors are labeled as different organizations or major events in Cesar Chavez's life. And then there's this like pinkish color. And I noticed the trend of his goals, wanting to start a strong union, wanting to support the laborers, wanting to do all of this through nonviolent methods. So anything that referenced items, I highlighted in that pinkish color. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up the quiz. Mrs. Wilson, if you want to start us out with the first quiz question to discuss.
Okay, so you know News ELA always has our 4 questions, two based on each of 2 different standards. So we're going to be focusing on questions 3 and 4 today because that touches our standard that we're covering, RI 8.3, people, events, and ideas. So the first question says, according to the article, how did Cesar Chavez expect farm workers to respond to disagreements with management? So the correct answer has been highlighted for you, and the correct answer is letter A, where Cesar Chavez required them not to engage in violent confrontation. So if you go back to the section for nonviolent protests on behalf of farm workers, we're going to look for our evidence that supports that. So if you go down to the second paragraph, highlighted in pink, it says, he demanded farm workers stick to a pledge of nonviolence. And if you scroll down to the next paragraph, a second support would be Chavez used nonviolence to win disputes with management. So letter A is the correct answer. So we're going to go through our other choices to see why those are not the correct answers. So for letter B, it says he asked them to boycott grapes and other products. Now, although they did boycott grapes and other products, that was a minor detail in the grand scheme of things for using nonviolence to respond to disagreements with management. So letter B would be ruled out. Letter C, it says he wanted them to report any problems with strikers. Although strikers were mentioned, he didn't talk about them wanting to report problems. So that rules out C. And then letter D, we can scroll down. It says he expected them to honor their contracts with management. And although he discussed how contracts were made, he did not discuss honoring the contracts within the article. So that is question number 3. Ms. Johnson's going to take you through the response for question 4.
So question number 4 goes over the same standard. about people, events, and ideas. So which answer choice would best describe Robert Kennedy's reaction to Chavez's leadership of the farm worker movement? That's your question. So now I need to find the answer. And the easiest way I think to do that is to scroll through my article and just look for the different green that I had highlighted already. And in that same section that Mrs. Wilson was going over, the section on nonviolent protests on behalf of farm workers, I see that Senator Robert Kennedy's name is highlighted down there. A very short paragraph for me to skim through and just refresh my memory on what's going on in this section. So this was where Mrs. Wilson informed us that he is making the pledge for nonviolence. It says that some strikers and staff left the union during Chavez's 25-day fast for nonviolence, but he prevailed. So if you guys aren't familiar with a fast is when you eat and drink very minimal, just enough to survive in an attempt to a form of a nonviolent protest. So Senator Robert Kennedy came to Delano as the fast ended, and he called Chavez one of the heroic figures of our time. Again, your answer has already been highlighted for you. Your correct answer is C. He felt that Chavez's courage was significant and would be remembered. Well, if you're called one of the heroic figures of our time, I would definitely say that you would be a significant person and you would be a remembered person. So obviously letter C is correct, but we need to go back to A, B, and D and rule them out just to make sure that we've covered our bases. Letter A says he believed that Chavez's influence was relatively minor. Well, that's the opposite, so I know I can cross out A. Then when I look at letter B, he thought Chavez's methods were unique to the farm workers' cause. Well, it never really mentions that he says that. While they were definitely a unique method, it's not supporting what Senator Robert Kennedy said, so we can rule that out. And then letter D says Chavez's movement was the most important civil rights effort in history. Well, Senator Kennedy also does not say that. He may call him a significant figure and a heroic figure, but he doesn't say that this is the most important movement in our history. So we can definitely rule out letter D as well.
So now that we've gone through our questions, Ms. Johnson is bringing up the article that you will be reading tomorrow on Common Lit called Cesar Chavez, The Life Behind a Legacy of Farm Labor Rights. Ms. Johnson is going to share with you, again, some tools that you could be using tomorrow to help you better understand the article and to better understand Standard RI 8.3.
So I just want to show you guys the same way with Newsella. Your teachers, your ELA teachers all ask you to take notes in the margins, to highlight information within your text. So we know how to do that really well, but I'm not sure if everybody knows how to do that on Common Lit. So just a quick refresher for you. You can see that I already have one sample up here in the article. So I'm just going to show you how I did that. If I go ahead and highlight this next sentence, and automatically when I highlight it, this little box pops up over here on the left. And when I put my cursor over the highlighter tool, I have all the different colors. Once again, you can choose a specific color. You're going to be focusing on multiple standards, but the number one focus that you have is that standard about people and places and events and the connections that they make. So you might want to highlight your people in one color, highlight your dates in another color, the same as I did. So you can choose your color, and then the box disappears. But you should probably make a note in the margin for most of your highlights. So I just wanted to show you that when you re-highlight and you see that box again, that little T inside the white box is how you can make your text. You can just type right directly in there what your notes are, click done, and it saves them just like my example that you could have seen up above. And I think that covers it.
I think so. So with that being said, that is tomorrow's assignment. You're going to have one more thing to do today once you're done with your video, and that's to go back to your Nearpod and click on the next slide where you'll be instructed to watch a video clip and answer a question about it. So you have one more thing to do once you're done with this video, and the Common Lit is your assignment for tomorrow. At any point in time, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to any of your ELA teachers. We're always here for you. And if you have anything else, I'll turn it over to Miss Johnson, and
No, that's about it. So bye, 8th graders. We hope you guys do a great job with this lesson, and we're excited to see how you do with this. Bye, guys.
we miss you. Bye.